Byzantium has never existed. Our forefathers were never called Byzantines. We shall discuss this fake name in today's episode.
Η Ρωμανία πέρασεν, η Ρωμανία πάρθεν, η Ρωμανία πέρασε, άνθη και φέρει κι άλλο.
Hello, I'm John Neonakis on OUH EALO, meaning not fallen, our channel on Romee tradition and Romee self-awareness to provide answers to postmodern problems. Now to the point, there has never been a Byzantium. Neither our country nor its people were ever called Byzantine. These names were imposed on us and prevailed only in the last 2 centuries due to political duplicity and deceit. They have prevailed since the middle of the 19th century, strongly supported by the great powers. These names are distorting our historical identity, weakening us on our independent and self-reliant way to the future, thus undermining our very existence. We owe to our ancestors, to our children and to future generations to learn the truth, restore it and speed up, being confident and assertive towards new perspective and possibilities given to us by our true identity. Saint Constantine the Great built the city in place of ancient Byzantium in 330 and transferred the capital of the empire to the new Rome, Constantinople. However, from 330 until the fall in 1453, neither the state nor its citizens were ever called Byzantine. Using these names totally misrepresents historical truth. This state was the Roman Empire, or Romania, as it was called by its people with joy, its proud citizens being the Romans, Romee. Our homeland was Romania, and our ancestors were the Romee. Constantinople was the state's capital for more than 1,000 years, a city which did not surrender but fell in 1453. The Romeos, the citizen of the new Rome Empire, has a Greek-Roman culture background and a supranational culture. He speaks mostly Greek, but also Latin or other local languages, and is an Orthodox. He considers his state the only ecumenical, orderly Christian state on earth, and is grateful and proud of it. From the emperor to the last citizen, all Romee give meaning to their existence, considering they serve a higher purpose and set an example with their lives. They also fight, forsaking themselves and defending their way of life with zest. As Emperor Constantine XI said when asked to surrender the city, "Neither I nor anyone else in the city is in charge of surrendering it to you, for we have decided of our own free will to die and shall not spare our lives." Unfortunately, long before the fall of our capital, since the 4th century, the western part of our state will be occupied by the Franks, and the subdued Romee of these regions will be wiped out or turned into serfs. In the 8th century, the Frankish state was strong, and Charlemagne wanted to appropriate the name and splendor of Romania. However, since there could not be 2 Romanias at the same time, he and his successors systematically used the forgotten for 1,000 years Greek name Greki for the free Romee of Constantinople with a negative nuance: heretics, deceitful, etc. The capital falls and the state is abolished in 1453. 110 years later, in 1562, Hieronymus Wolff, a German scholar, seeking a flexible term according to Panagiotis Christou, will use the term Byzantine for the first time, proposing the introduction of a Byzantine history corpus. Once again, in 1680, Ducagon called his book Historia Byzantina, but in general the term did not prevail. The name Byzantine reappears in the middle of the 19th century and is accepted despite leading men of our country such as Constantine Paparigopoulos protesting. It reappears on purpose during the period when the Ottoman Empire was in decline and the Christian Empire of Constantinople being restored threatens the great powers. Foreign historians reject Grecus, Hellenic, and even more so the term Romeiki for this period. Strongly supported by the great powers, they impose the use of term Byzantine. They want to stop the return of the empire, and they want to set up many small puppet states which will be weak and utterly under their control. Besides, since 1828, the great powers have determined, and that applies even today in their perception and diplomacy, that the boundaries of Greece amount to the borders of Graecia Propria, i.e. continental Greece, the Peloponnese, and the Cyclades, in other words, Athens and Sparta. So, there were some quote-unquote Byzantines who, as by magic, enter history, and as if by magic, were all lost again. So they are all happy, as the Byzantines do not cause any problems being non-existent. And most of all, the great powers are pleased, having avoided this dangerous restoration, and set up an ignorant of its history and obedient vassal state, our state, the pseudo-Romaico, as we say. But our enemies from the East are also happy, since by invoking historical truth, they can talk to themselves and the whole world about some unknown Byzantines who lived in these lands and of course are in no way related to us. And maybe we are also happy that without feeling particularly guilty, we have once and for all gotten rid of our roots, and we can easily become a beautiful pulp with an essence of antiquity. And if our oblivion of history has suited us so far, if we have lived like hucksters, beggars and pariahs, without self-consciousness and self-confidence, and if we have let all the others for 2 centuries now to shamelessly despoil our collective existence, now that things are crystal clear and the end is at hand, now maybe we can realize the consequences of our attitude. We have been harshly beaten in these last few years by the northern winds, and our roots are weak. The waves keep on coming and our ship has no ballast. We are constantly shrinking and being laid bare, and the end is nigh. Maybe now, in our despair, we shall hear the voice of our ancestors and descendants. Maybe now we could come to our senses. Maybe now we may search for the truth, and having restored it and being given a new perspective, to fight with courage and vision for our lives and our nation still so dear to our hearts. Okay, these were the things and issues I wanted to talk about today. If you like this reasoning and perspective, and if you like our channel, you can subscribe, comment, and discuss such issues with other friends of yours. Dear friends, take care, and Godspeed to you all. Thank you.